Hey guys, just thought I would piggyback off of the 10 favorite album thread that's going around with my 10 favorite Texas albums, particularly from the early 70s, mid 70s, that kind of fell within the time frame under the outlaw progressive country. So I have 10 plus 1 albums from that time that are very important to Austin, where I live, in the music scene. So here they are, in no particular order. Jerry Jeff's Viva Terlingua came out in 73. They're actually having the 50th anniversary here real soon in Luckenbach. Every song on this album is great. It is my favorite Jerry Jeff album behind his Drifting Way of Life on Vanguard. But, making a movie on Stephen Fromholtz, which I'm currently doing, I've gotten to know all of the guys who were involved with this album. It's just this is just, if there's any album that encapsulates like the attitude of Jerry Jeff and Texas and all of those singer-songwriters at the time, this is this is it. It was definitely a way of life that was captured on this album, more so than any other album that came out in that time frame. And probably my top 3 favorite albums of all time: Willie's Redheaded Stranger. It was, being in Austin, being in Texas, I had to put a Willie album on here. This is, it's a concept album. You gotta listen to it all the way through. And and it's the town that it was filmed in. Luck is just outside of town, 35 minutes away, which is still there, and they still hold concerts there. And we actually saw the Redheaded Stranger that was remastered for the first time that's ever been played there at Luck, where Willie lives. Now this is just a great album. It's Willie's voice kind of at its finest, in my opinion. My favorite Willie album. This one, the infamous Willis Allen Ramsey Lone album. I've got a couple of these. I was fortunate to meet Willis a year ago or so. He used to open for Steve Fromholtz back when they both lived in Colorado in the late 60s, early 70s. He was on a label here in town. Their label booking agency, Moonhill Management. They were the first real booking agency in Austin in the early 70s. Started around 72, but Willis was on it. There's not let's see, what is my favorite song on here? Spider John. I of course love that. Northeast Texas Women, just got a nice beat to it. There's a band here in town called the Lost Austin Band that they sing Northeast Texas Women, and it's really great. But no, it's just kind of like a folk masterpiece. It's timeless. If you were to listen to it today, you wouldn't know that it was recorded 50 years ago. It's just, I love that album. Guy Clark's Old Number One, his best album. Texas Cookin's a close second, but there's not a bad song on here. Don't really know if you would call this a Texas album. This is probably more so Nashville, but I tossed it in, and that's his wife painted that painting. Do I have a favorite song on here? She Ain't Going Nowhere, of course. I love that song. Old Time Feeling. And then Let 'Em Roll. Let 'Em Roll gets me every time. You know, it's just... yeah. Terry Allen's Lubbock on everything. This is the original. It came out... oh God, what year did this come out? 79. That's what it says, 79. But yeah, you know, I was gonna do I'm gonna do my 10 favorite road trip albums, and this may make an appearance. You know, it opens up with Amarillo Highway. For those of you who don't know Terry Allen, he was a part of the Lubbock crew with the Flatlanders, Joe Ely, Jimmy Dale Gilmore, and Butch Hancock. The Maines brothers, Lloyd Maines, of course Buddy Holly, Bob Livingston of the Gonzos, and Jerry Jeff. But no, Terry Allen's piano player. I like him because his songs have a lot of attitude. It's very much just kind of like, don't fuck with me, you know. And he was only, besides Marcia Ball, and there's no really other piano players from this time in Austin. And he always had a great band. A lot of the times it would be like Lloyd Maines on steel, or oh God, I can't remember who the other guys are in his band. I'm drawing a blank right now. Charlie Sexton sometimes. But yeah, like Amarillo Highway, this is a double LP. Let me see here. Wolfman from Del Rio. New Delhi Freight Train. But yeah, this is, if you aren't familiar with Terry Allen, I recommend watching the movie Everything for All Reasons. I think that's the name of it. Came out a couple years ago. But yeah, Terry Allen. Sorry I rambled too much on that one. This other one is Flatlanders. Same album. This one has a couple more songs on it. But again, Lubbock guys, Jimmy Dale Gilmore, Joe Ely, Butch Hancock. For those of you who don't know the Flatlanders, I highly recommend looking them up. Again, it's just like Jimmy Dale, they all sing, they all write their own music. Jimmy Dale has a voice that's kind of similar to like a Hank Williams. Butch is kind of more so like a Woody Guthrie, and then Joe is like a bluesy rock and roller with, you know, with some country folk tinge to it. But Dallas is probably my favorite song on here. Tonight I Think I'm Gonna Go Downtown is really great. But yeah, these guys are just kind of, you know, icons in the Texas music. Jimmy Dale Gilmore, Fair and Square, White Freightliner Blues, Honky Tonk Masquerade, Fair and Square, Just a Wave, Not the Water. Yeah, I remember Jimmy Dale told me one time he was up in New York, the beginning of his career, and he opened for Garth Brooks. And they panned Garth Brooks and raved about Jimmy Dale, saying he had much more of a brighter future, which I thought was great. Jimmy Dale is near and dear to my heart. I consider him a friend. He and his wife, good friends. Yeah, reminiscent of the old Hank Williams. Just that real, just piercing, you know, higher pitched voice. Butch Hancock. again, from the Flatlanders, Lubbock, Terlingua connection now. His dad took that photo, he told me. Butch Hancock is a very interesting character. Very from the vein of Woody Guthrie, big time. Listen to his music, you can hear the Woody Guthrie influence, the talking blues, just the songs that just go on and on and on. The humor, just the kind of improvisational lyrics, but it's just, just stripped down guitar, some harmonica, just song, regional songs about Texas and living in West Texas and the Dust Bowl, and so this is his first album. I think it's his first album. Yeah, just dryland farm, working on a dryland farm, West Texas waltz, just great Texas, West Texas country folk. Billy Joe Shaver, Five and Dimers, like me. Yeah, I mean, it's for those, I don't know, whoever hasn't heard of Billy Joe Shaver needs to go out and listen to this song first. To me, it's a perfect album. Five and Dimers, Like Me, Jesus Christ, What a Man, Black Rose. What else is on here? Oh yeah, George on the Fast Train, Willie the Wandering Gypsy, and me, Willie Nelson, Bottom Dollar, just every song is perfect on here. It's just the lonesome, just cuts straight to the bone. All of his songs, all of his lyrics, the way he performs his songs. I was lucky enough to see him shortly before he passed, and it was an amazing show up front, up against the stage, and just Texas stripped down, just raw Texas country. And I don't think that there was a better Texas songwriter that kind of lived his songs more than Billy Joe Shaver. And I was we went to his wake in Waco, and I just felt lucky to be there and pay my respects, to him and see him off, one last time. Mark Martin Murphy, Geronimo's Cadillac, 1973. So it'll be 50 years for this guy. 72, maybe. It's Cosmic Cowboy, 73. This is very similar to Willie's Redheaded Stranger for me. It's just I gotta listen to this all the way through. I don't skip around. To me, it's a near perfect album. I think it's his best album. It's got Michael Murphy, Leonard Arnold, who was a great guitar player that played with a lot of guys like Steve Fromholtz, Bob Livingston, who was the heart of every band that he's ever played with, mainly Jerry Jeff and the Gonzos, Gary P. Nunn, kids, Loretta and Ryan, and Charles John Quarto, who co-wrote the song Geronimo's Cadillac with Murphy. And Bob Johnston produced this, who also produced, I think, Live at Folsom Prison and also Blonde on Blonde. But it's just, this is, it's a wide open song. You just kind of listen to it when you're on the wide open road, Crack Up on Las Cruces. It's really upbeat, just funky song. Geronimo's Cadillac, of course, I love that. Lights of the City is more of a stripped down, bluesy jazz song. I think Murphy may have been the most talented songwriter that came out of Austin. As soon as this song kind of came out, he hightailed out of Austin, Texas. They went to New Mexico, where he's at in the Red River and has been for, since the 70s, mid 70s. But Geronimo's Cadillac. And then my last one, which is a bonus, is the Texas folk and outlaw music from Kerrville. This is a kind of a compilation from 72 to 76. Kerrville Folk Festival is kind of like a Newport Folk Festival. That is all about kind of what now much more nowadays is like unknown singer-songwriters getting their start. But it was just kind of fell in the vein of just kind of helped identify Austin in the 70s, early 70s. Started in 73, out in Kerrville, Texas, which is a couple hours away west of Austin. But still going on today. Just happened. It normally, I think, takes place over like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. And like on this album, everybody's played this festival. On this, there's Steve Fromholtz, the Threadgills, B.W. Stevenson, Willie Nelson, Jerry Jeff, Towns Van Zandt, Bill and Bonnie Hearn, Guy Clark, Augie Meyer, Milton Carroll, Hondo Crouch, Bobby Bridger. Each of those people, let me see here. Fromholtz and Towns are the only two that have 2 songs. Then everybody else has 1 song. Towns sings Tecumseh Valley. Willie sings The Party's Over. BW sings Shambhala. Jerry Jeff sings Charlie Dunn. Towns' other one is Poncho and Lefty. Guy Clark, Anyhow I Love You. Fromholtz sings Dear Darcy and Birds and Wolverines. But yeah, if you've never heard of Kerrville Folk Festival, I highly recommend looking it up. This is the outlaw country, progressive country scene, like in a nutshell, this album. And they put an album out up until, the early 80s, they put an album, made an actual album of every performance. So if you ever find those from like 72 to like 83, they put albums out that are very hard to find. But yeah, so that's kind of it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and look for my 10 favorite road albums that I will soon be putting out. Thanks.